Hello, everybody. Welcome to ABC Interactive English. I am Shane.
And I'm Matt. Shane, do you know we're talking about a story today?
Okay. I like stories.
I like stories too. This story is called The Count and the Wedding Guest. So what do you think this story could possibly be about?
Okay, well, a count is like somebody who's very important in a society. He's like more important than regular people, but less important than the king, right?
I think that's right. I mean, I would also say you could say like the count, like the count of something. You say how's the count or the score?
Oh.
Like a game, like what's the count on that?
Okay, so it could just be talking about numbers, right?
Maybe.
And the wedding guest, okay, a wedding guest. So maybe the wedding guest is going to play a game and they're going to keep some score. They'll have to keep the count.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's those exciting wedding games. Do they play games at weddings?
I think they do, right?
Some wedding games?
The fun weddings do.
Okay.
All right, so we don't know, is it going to be about a count or somebody who's counting? Wedding guest, we know what that is. Somebody who's going to be at a wedding who was invited there, right?
Yeah, so we'll find out, I guess, if it's going to be counting or an actual person, the count, and we'll see how he interacts with this wedding guest when we get into the story. And we'll see you there.
All right, I'm very curious. See you there.
Mr. Donovan first met Miss Conway at a party. A few days after that, he saw her in the park. She was wearing black and crying. He went up to her and asked, "What's wrong?"
Okay, we finally are ready to find out what's going on here. The count and the wedding guest, and this is part one.
So even in the title there, we have a vocabulary word which confirms that it is a count,
Right.
a person who is very important in a country or a city, and usually less important than a king, but more important than most people.
Right. We don't really have these in most countries where you have like a president.
Yeah.
You don't normally have this kind of like, these kind of people, a count or something,
I think,
right?
yeah, counts are much less common today.
Yeah.
I think in Europe, a long time ago,
Right.
they were much more common. So maybe we can guess that this story probably happened a long time ago.
Right. Okay, so we have another vocabulary word here, guest. And guest is a noun. So a guest is somebody who's been invited somewhere. So for example, if I invite Matt to my house to have dinner, he will be a guest.
You're inviting me for dinner?
No, it's just an example. Just kidding. You can come anytime and be a guest at my home.
Okay.
Well, let's find out what happens in the story, finally. Mr. Donovan first met Miss Conway at a party.
Okay.
So they met at a party.
We noticed here, her name is Miss Conway. So usually when we see Miss spelled like that, it means that she's probably not married.
Well, if she were married, what would you say?
We would use Mrs. And Mrs. we usually shorten to M-R-S period.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so
A few days after that, he saw her in the park. She was wearing black and crying.
wow.
So she's crying means she's probably very sad. She's
Right.
Just like this crying, having tears come out of her face, and that is a verb.
Right.
And when you are sad, you might be crying. If you are hurt, you might be crying. You might say, I couldn't sleep because the baby was crying.
Or I hit my knee and I cried.
Oh.
That happens to me all the time.
So
Yeah, she's wearing black and she's crying. You know,
Yeah.
people who wear black usually, not usually, but sometimes, sometimes when you wear black, it's because somebody you know has died, right? And you will wear all black because I guess black is like a sad color, right?
Yeah, we use black to show that we are not happy, that we are sad. So when you're going to, after someone has died, if you're going to a funeral, if you're going to show respect to that person, you'll wear black to show that it's not a happy time. So in the other side of things, if you're going to like a wedding, the bride wears white, it's a very happy time.
Right,
So-
exactly. So black, this color, she might be crying because somebody died,
Oh.
right? So continuing, he went up to her and asked, "What's wrong?" Okay, well, if you saw a girl sitting there, you're walking on the street, and a girl is crying, would you say something to her or just keep walking?
Yeah, if I saw a girl crying and she looked very sad, I might, pull out some tissue and offer it to her.
Like this, huh? You have
just
tissue
like
in your
this,
pocket?
Yes.
Wow.
Keep a piece of cloth or tissue
What a gentleman.
that I blow my nose on, but and offer it to her to wipe her tears.
Okay.
So,
And would you ask her what's wrong?
yeah, and say what's wrong. I mean, what's your problem? So not what's your problem, but when you say to someone, what's wrong? You mean what's making you unhappy?
Yeah, you don't want to say, 你什么问题, right? That would be pretty rude, but like, 你怎么了, right? Like, what's wrong
Yeah.
with you? Okay, well, let's take a break and find out what's wrong with her after the break.
Okay.
She said,
An Italian count and I were going to get married, but he died. I loved him very much, and I wear his picture around my neck. Would you like to see?
He said, I'm sorry, and looked at the picture. After that, Mr. Donovan decided to take the Count's place in her heart.
Welcome back, everybody.
We're continuing to read an interesting story called The Count and the Wedding Guest. So in this story, we've got two characters so far. We've got Mr. Donovan and Miss Conway.
Right.
And they met at a party, and then a little bit later, a few days later, Mr. Donovan saw Miss Conway wearing black and crying, and he asked her, what's wrong?
All right, so let's find out what she said. She said, an Italian count and I were going to get married, but he died. Wow, that's so sad.
So I guess he's a very important person in Italy.
Yeah.
An Italian count.
Right.
And
So I think I was right, though, right? She was crying because somebody died.
yeah, you got that.
Yeah. Okay, so married, right? So she were going to get married with the count. So married is an adjective. So if you are married to somebody, that means that you have promised in the law that you two will be together forever. Two people, right? So if we have a man getting married, what do we call him?
Call it the husband.
And if we have a woman getting married,
That's the wife.
wife, right? If two people decide, let's promise to be together forever, they will say, hey, let's get married.
Yeah, and that brings up also our title of the story is The Wedding Guest. So wedding is when two people get married, they have a wedding usually.
Right, that's where they will say to each other, I do, right? And have a big party and celebrate that they're going to be together forever. Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
Continue.
she continues to say, I loved him very much, and I wear his picture around my neck. Would you like to see?
Okay, that's a kind of interesting that she wears the picture around the neck.
So she's wearing, this is your neck,
Right.
and I would guess she's wearing some sort of necklace or a
Necklace.
string or something that has a picture at the end of it, or maybe in a, what's called a locket. So you have a little thing with a door.
You can like open it up and there's a picture inside, right?
That's right. So neck is just a noun meaning this part of your body.
That
the part
connects your body to your head, right?
Body to your head, that's right. And yeah, I think today she's pulling out her picture from her around her neck. I think today someone just pull out their phone.
Right. Show them some.
picture. Yeah.
Look at my IG here.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
here,
That's the count.
Yeah.
Okay, and he continues, and he said, I'm sorry, and looked at the picture. After that, Mr. Donovan decided to take the count's place in her heart. Okay, so she just tells him that the person she was going to marry has died. He says, I'm sorry. And what, he's going to ask her on a date now?
A bit strange. So I think he said, like, I'm sorry. Like, to show that he feels sad for her. I'm sorry. We might say, I'm sorry for your loss.
Right. It's not like, you know, 对不起.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not.
Yeah. So in Chinese, when you say I'm sorry, you usually say 对不起. But here in English, if somebody dies or something bad happens to somebody, we will say, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's your fault, but you feel sorry that the person is sad or hurt.
You want them to feel better. You feel sorry for them, or you sorry for someone's loss in this case.
Right. And in here, we're talking about Mr. Donovan wants to take the place in her heart.
Right. So
what does that mean?
Well, your heart is a part of your body in here that pumps the blood.
Yeah.
So maybe Mr. Donovan, no. So
He's very small and it could fit. No.
Not going in her actual heart, but when we talk about someone's heart, we also mean their place of sort of emotion and feeling.
Right.
So if someone has a place in your heart, it means that you care for them or they're
love
important.
Them. Right? You
Doesn't always be.
them.
Your friends can also have a place in your heart.
I love my friends.
There, yes.
I love you.
Okay.
But when we say heart like this, we mean compared to like your brain, right? Or your
brain,
mind.
Your mind, yeah.
Right.
So someone has a place in your mind means you think about them.
Yeah.
Someone has a place in your heart means you care and have feelings for them.
Well, if you're going to get married, are you going to make decisions based on your brain or on your heart?
I think it has to be a mix of both.
Oh, wow.
And I think sometimes when someone is in love, though, people think they're only thinking with their heart and not using their brain because you're so in love and you just can't think clearly.
Yeah, and if you just think with your brain, then you might not find somebody who really makes you feel good, right? Okay, well, this is really interesting so far in the story, but that's all the time we have for today. And the next time we will find out what's going to happen with the count and the wedding guest.
Thank you.
Mr. Donovan first met Miss Conway at a party. A few days after that, he saw her in the park. She was wearing black and crying. He went up to her and asked, "What's wrong?" She said,
An Italian count and I were going to get married, but he died. I loved him very much, and I wear his picture around my neck. Would you like to see?
He said, "I'm sorry," and looked at the picture. After that, Mr. Donovan decided to take the Count's place in her heart.
Hi, I'm Tina. 我们来看一下这一课的重点单字。第一个 cry 动词哭哭泣。The little girl fell down and started to cry. 小女孩跌倒了，开始哭泣。下一个单字 married 形容词已婚的。Get married 指的就是结婚。Eddie and Ruby got married last month. Eddie 和 Ruby 上个月刚结婚。下一个单字 neck 名词脖子。Amy is wearing a beautiful necklace around her neck. Amy 脖子上戴了一条漂亮的项链。最后一个单字 heart 名词内心。My dad is a hero in my heart. 在我心中，我爸爸是个英雄。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 a few 加名词，一些什么东西的，它的后面必须要接可数名词哦。我们来看看这个例句 I need a few eggs to make a cake. 我需要一些鸡蛋来做蛋糕。下一个文法 A goes up to B. A 走向 B. Up 往前向前，它带有一种强调的意味哦。我们来看看这个例句。
John went up to the teacher and told her Peter was cheating.
最后一个文法 A takes B's place. A 取代了 B 的位置。Take 在这里指的是夺取、拿走的意思。那 place 指的就是地位、位置咯。我们来看看这个例句。Lisa took Jenny's place as the new team leader. Lisa 取代了 Jenny 成为了新队长。以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，我们下一课再见喽，拜拜。
I'm Jamie.
I'm Josh.
And today we're playing a game called Guess the Bear, where we each have 3 cards with words or phrases on them, but we're not going to say those words or phrases. We're going to say bear in the sentences instead, and we're going to have to guess what those words or phrases are. So are you ready?
I think I can bear it.
You can bear it. Good.
Yep.
All right, let's make it bearable. All right, go. 1 word verb. The little girl would bear when her brother stole her toy, and he got the terrible news and began to bear.
Scream.
Similar.
Okay.
Sort of.
What else?
The little girl would bear when her brother stole her toy, and he got the terrible news and began to bear.
Cry.
Yeah, cry.
Okay. Not screaming or
Not
crying.
scream. Yeah, cry. Okay, good. 1 word noun. Her bear broke when her longtime boyfriend left her, and no one can replace her true love in her bear.
Oh, I'm just probably going to have to say heart.
Heart, yay!
Yeah.
All right. Next, phrase, 2 words. The understudy bared the actor's bear when she got sick, and Elliot dropped out of the team and John bared his bear.
Understudy, acting, team, role?
Understudy bared the actor's bear.
Part.
Close. You're really close. So I was like,
What was
the
it?
understudy took the actor's place when she got sick.
Okay.
And Elliot dropped out of the team and John took his place. So it's like A takes B's place.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, it was
I
pretty
think,
tricky.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think I would have gotten that.
Oh, 2's okay. 2's okay.
Two's okay.
All right. Okay, so we've got an adjective.
Okay.
1 word. They have been bare for almost 5 years. We got bare in a small church in the country.
Married?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How about that?
I was going to say dating. I was like, wait, married in a church. Yeah, okay.
All right, we've got another one. Noun, 1 word. I turned my head and pulled a muscle in my bear. His bear hurts if he sleeps on it the wrong way.
Neck, probably, right?
It is neck.
Okay, I was like,
Yep.
you turn your head.
Not probably,
yeah.
definitely.
Definitely, okay.
We've got a phrase now. This one's a bit trickier. 3 words.
Okay.
So we've got 3 bears.
3 bears.
Yeah, Goldilocks and the I bared bear the celebrity to ask for a picture together. I dare you to bear Sarah and ask her out.
Go up to?
How did you get that?
Is it really?
Yeah,
Like you go
that's
up to
it.
somebody.
I would
Oh
not
my
have
God.
gotten that at all.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
thank you.
amazing.
Yeah, go up to
Yeah,
somebody
so-
and like ask.
I went up to the celebrity to ask for a picture together. I dare you to go up to Sarah and ask her out.
Oh, I'm surprised I got it. Wow.
Yeah. Man, how did, what was going on? How did you get that? I would not have gotten that.
The second sentence helped. The first one was a little harder.
See you next time.